Let me hear you say, hey, Miss Carter. Say, hey, Miss Carter.
Ta-da! And we are back with our second edition of the EVA Crew project with Victoria and Alyssa. The first edition was amazingly awesome. I loved it. Thank you for the ones who did that with us. Welcome for the new members of our Best EVA Crew. I'm super excited about this edition because first of our song choice, which is like a healing track that I love, and I loved already to choreograph on it, and I can't wait to see what we produce, like our little baby with the girls on that song. It's gonna be challenging, a challenging month, but we're gonna have time and space to process it and integrate it at our own pace, and I say our and not your, because I also gonna have to learn what the girls created. And I already saw like a glimpse of it, and yeah, it's pretty challenging, huh? So we've got 30 minutes together today for our footwork base. So my part comes after the girls. So the first one is Alyssa, then Victoria, and this is mine. We've got 4/8 together. I'm gonna go slow with explanations, and you will have, of course, like the breakdown and counts, and then in music, I'm gonna offer like a slow and a fast version. By fast, I mean normal speed. But before that, I'm gonna guide you through 3 concepts that we're gonna use for my footwork base. And it's gonna be just drills. We're gonna use it as a warm-up. And then we're gonna get into the serious stuff. So let's go. The first concept that I want to talk about is my foundation when it comes to footwork creation. Let's say if you've already taken classes with me or the Best EVA Crew #1, you've already seen this concept. We're going to use it today just as a warm-up. So I call it like 2.4 because we've got 2 feet and 4 points, whether it's like both of your heels or both of your toes. And we're going to play with 3 different elements. The first one is a number of points connected to the floor. So I can have 4 points connected to the floor, or I can switch the number to 3 by lifting 1 heel or 1 toe. You're going to have normally like 4 configuration with 3 points connected to the floor. When you switch from a 3 to another 3, make sure that you don't jump into it, but you enjoy the process going from one configuration to the other. You can use like the outside edge of your foot, it should feel like a massage, or the inside one. So first explore 3 points. After 3, we're going to have the possibility of only 2 points connected to the floor. So it can be 2 toes or 2 heels, or 1 toe, 1 heel, and the opposite, the last possibility being on 1 foot balance. And the last one is only 1 point connected to the floor. This is really hard for your stability and balance, but I'm going to use it maybe for transition. Right now, take number of points that is possible to connect with the floor and play with that and switch. Take your time, you can play a song, try to act more spontaneously and randomly, not necessarily trying to define. Again, it's just to warm up a bit your feet and start to feel comfortable with different configurations. The second element that we're gonna change a bit is and play with is the position of your feet. So you can have it parallel, you can have it turned out, or you can have it turned in, and we're gonna put on top of that the number of points connected to the floor. So, or you can keep the same number of points and just play what is it looking to turn out, in a parallel, in a turn in, and play with that switch. And after, you can change the number of points connected to the floor or the configuration at the same time. So right now, 2 elements, number of points connected to the floor, and your feet position. And the third element that we're going to play with is just the distance between your feet. So whether it's connected together, or you can cross, or it's shoulder level, hips level, or outside the hip. You can also add into that the distribution of weight, so I can be more committed to one foot than to the other. And putting it together, number of points, foot position, and distance between my feet. So, play a song, take your time, go at your own pace. It's not a competition, we're not trying to be pretty or even to create something specific right now. It's just for the sake to warm up and start to be comfortable with different feet position. Go slow, think about number of points connected to the floor, feet position, and the distance and the distribution of weight. Your turn. The second drill that we're going to use, or exercise, or warm-up activity, it's about from where my movement is initiated. So it doesn't mean that I have really to isolate it, but it's more the intention that I put within myself. I want you to put on a song, and what we want to do is focusing on 4 different parts. So it's going to be or your toes, or your heel, or your knee, or your hip. And what I want is for you to feel that your movement is initiated from that part. So for instance, if I take the toes right now, and we're going to do right foot and left foot after, I take my right toes, and it's like someone is pulling me from my right toes and initiating all the movement that I would have. So all the possibilities that you might think about, then you switched it to the heel when you're a little bit bored about the toe, and same principle, it's my heel, whether it's right or left, that initiating my movement. Then we switch to the knee, so it's like the knee that is controlling and initiating my movement. If you feel like it, you can even go on the floor or be as creative as you want. And the last one is going to be just the hip. So whether it's like right hip or left, and it's my hip that is initiating and creating my motion. Take your time, again, play a song for yourself, and maybe give yourself 4/8 by area. Go for it. So we had both our drills with our 2.4 and with I'm initiating my movement from a certain part of my body. Again, I want you to play a song if you want. If you prefer to jump into the choreo, you can as well. But this is fun. And what we want to do is alternate between those two. So you can concentrate first on like the 2.4 and play with it. And then at a point, you connect to your heel and you want to draw something with it. And then coming back with the 2.4. And then I feel like my hips is taking me somewhere. And 2.4. And then maybe my toes. 2.4. And my knee. Etc. etc. So again, play a song if you like. And play with those two, alternating between one and the other. Our third exercise is going to be more like a rhythmical one. And what we're going to do is just getting used to half time, like let's say normal time, and double time. Just to change a bit, like the timing of our transfer. So the first one, we're going to go really slow and having like 2 counts per transfer. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to have normal timing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then a double timing. We're going to play with the intermediate count. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Now something that you might experience like when you do that is the more slow you get, the more you have time to fully transfer and the more you have time to also release knee and opposite hip. The more you go faster is the opposite of wide is narrow. Narrower, I don't know if it's like in English terms, and the more fast I get, the narrowest, let's say, it gets. You have also a difference in the feeling of weight and mass that you have on each transfer. When I go slow, I can really fully feel my weight on each foot, and the faster I go, the less area I want to be connected to the floor to be able to speed up. So again, from the top, half timing first, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and slow, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. We're going to do the same thing, but this time taking a little bit of space. So if you can walk, just walk. If you want to do random motion and twist, same principle. We're just going to add to that the difference in rhythm and speed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. The fastest you get when it comes to footwork, the more difficult it is if you tend to maintain the exact same position and configuration. So it can look like a bit weird if you stay like that. If you start to play with snaking around and changing like your foot position, it will be easier for your own motion, whether it's from an aesthetic point of view or a comfortable point of view. So again, take your space, accelerate, slow down, and try to really use different configuration with your foot when it comes to a faster motion. On top of that, we're just gonna add our 2.4, but not like the difficult with the foot position, etc. Just whether you want to use heels or toes, and especially when you go to a faster rhythm, because the fastest you get, the less area we want to be connected to the floor. So it's getting easier. If you feel like it's all heel, all toes, then try to place all your foot on the floor in a flat way. So go slow again, change the space and where you walk. Then when you accelerate, try to feel it's all my heels, all my toes connected to the floor, and then especially with the fast motion. So if we do it together, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6, and 7, and 8. We're gonna go now even further, playing with a single beat rhythm. So if you take one beat, so from 1, let's say, to 2, you can divide it just into 2, and then we had 1 and 2, or you can divide it even further into 4, and having 1 E and a 2. So this is very useful when you want to hit different rhythm within a song, especially when it comes to footwork. So first we're going to go slow and just try to mark with transfer all those small elements just in one beat. So we're going to have 1, 2 normal, and then from 3 we're going to play 3 E and a 4. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 E and a 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So first, just really with full transfer every time. Let's try that. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3 E and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3 E and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3 E and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then when you're done with that, same principle, I want to take a little bit more of a space. So instead of staying on the spot, go 1, 2, 3 E and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3 E and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8. Again, same advice. The less area you have connected to the floor, the easiest it will get. So let's play again with our heel or toes connected to the floor, but not the full foot. So for instance, 1, 2, 3 E and 4 and 5, 6, 7 E and 8 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8. So to make the process easier, what I tend to do when I want to mark all the details of a single beat would be to use touch step. So whether it's like toe and step, by toe I mean you just touch the floor but you don't change your weight to that foot, and then step is a transfer. So or it can be toe step, or it can be also heel and step. So for instance, I'm going to do 1, 2 again, same with transfer, and then 3 E and 4, I'm going to do touch, step, step. So it's going to be 3 E and 4. Again, just this, 3 E and 4, 3 E and 4. Or the same thing but with heels. So it's going to be heel, collect, step. Heel, collect, step. So 1, 2, 3 E and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3 E and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8. So if we put all that rhythm, speed, drill combo together, it's gonna be half time first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, double time, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3 E and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3 E and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8. Play a song very slow if possible and practice that. Change of rhythm, then if you feel comfortable just with the change of rhythm, start to like define whether you attack the floor with a heel or with a toe. And then when it comes to the single beat, try different configuration, whether it's full transfer every time, or full transfer but changing from heel to toe, or using also non-transfer transfer to make your life easier when it gets to those changes. So let's go into our combo now. My footwork base is only 4-8. I'm going to teach it to you with my back. So this is your right, this is your left, but no worries, at a point you're going to have a visual face-to-face in a mirror angle. So let's go with that first 8. We're starting with our right foot. We slightly into like a diagonal. My weight is on my left. And we're going to go from 4 just to back. So I'm going to use that right foot starting attacking the floor with a toe and rolling through my heel to use that motion to transfer my weight and pull it back. Okay, so just that bicycle motion. So coming forward, using that roll to send me back. I'm going to match the movement with my left if you want to increase it. So when I'm placing my weight over there on the right foot, I'm also going into releve with my left. Okay, releve and then roll. Releve and then roll. So I've got one, and is I'm placing my weight to my left heel, and we're gonna use that 2.4 technique to roll into the heel, raising toes up, so I can switch from a turn in to a turn out. So do just that motion, back and forth, couple of times. So to the right, left, right, left. So when I go from the right to the left, I'm gonna also sneeze. Is it sneeze? Yeah. Sneak. My right foot behind the left. It's gonna go. When I'm open, make sure right now when you practice that move to place your weight after on the right. So it's like left and then right. Because I'm going to use this right just to place my left slightly behind. I do a small step next to my right foot, but it has to be slightly behind because I'm going to use the space in front with my right afterwards. Okay, so from the top it goes 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and is going to be like a cha-cha-cha in front with the right crossing in front of the left. Then I'm stepping again with the left and I'm crossing again with the right in front. Okay, so it's like a cross and cross, cross. From the top it goes 1, 2, and 3 and. On 3 and, the last step, make it like a full transfer to be more comfortable with your right. Again from the top, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm going to use my leg to the side, and the motion is like I'm going to go from a turn in, lifted heel, and open to a turn out, to then push again my weight back to my right side. So it's like you're tacking with your toes, lifted heel with my left foot, a turn in, and then it's like I'm squeezing an insect on the floor or cigarette and re-push myself. Just practice that motion a couple of times from turn in to turn out. 4, then it's going to be just 5, switching. So N is going to be collect, 5 and open again to the diagonal right. So from the top it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Use that 4 when you go with a cigarette to really propulse, push yourself to switch. And then 6 and both of my foot are watching my right side. I'm going to first change my right from a turn out to a turn in, rotating on my heel. Okay, so freeing the toes area. So this is 6. E is going to be the same motion but with the left this time, so from a slightly turn in to a turn out. And the last move is going to be just pumping my knee up, going on the toes, and you can also place your weight a little bit more into that left. So the 6 EN is going to be 6 E and. A little bit faster, right, left, left. 6 E and. 6 E and. With the top it goes 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 5, 6 E and 7. I'm gonna just roll that left and push my weight into my right. Now when I push my weight into my right, you can just switch from a flat foot to a point. Okay? To a rollerblade. Just that motion. 7. We're going to do the same thing this time with the right, but because my left is in front, I'm going to slightly drag it by the same principle. So when I'm rolling from toes to heel with my right, so my weight is more there, it's on that foot, I'm going to drag the left to after, prepare again with the toes back. It can feel like a Michael Jackson moonwalk. Move, but not fully. So from here, roll and switch, roll and prepare. Again, that motion, 7 and 8. So with this 8, we're going to use a slide or drag. So it's going to just look like this, so you see, shoo. So I'm going to use, with the 2.4 system, 2 points on the floor, which will be my left toes, and you can use maybe the wall, and right heel. So this is the position I'm going to be. And now I'm going to keep that position and just rotate all of my body, especially my hips area and my torso, to my right by maintaining that position. So if I go slow, this is going to be the motion. Shoo. Now, because I cannot have a wall to protect myself and do this, it's going to be fast, and I'm going to use the call with my left behind by rotating my torso towards my right, and now you will have a natural lock between both of your legs. I'm going to use that lock, pull my weight into my right heel, so free the toes, and then I'm going to rotate all that. Okay, so you can just practice that motion a couple of times. Preparing, just putting your weight into your right, stepping back and sending this. Again, stepping back, 2 points on the floor, and then you just switch it, shoo, and switch. So from the 7 I'm here, and it's 7 and 8. Use also your arms right now. We're going to see with the upper body, of course, next week what's going to happen. But I'm using my arms just to balance that motion. Okay, on the opposite side every time of the rotation. So when I'm initiating, I'm using my arms to balance myself. From the top it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. 6 and 7 and 8. Facing forward it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6 and 7 and 8. And this is our first 8. Our second 8. So we finish with our slide on 8. 1, I'm just going to commit my foot to my right and cross with my left. So it's a bit like if you're catching yourself after the slide. So 8, 1, and 2E, we're going to keep the same configuration with the cross legs, but I'm going to go into my toes and again down to 4. So from 2 to 4, and I'm going to add a little twist, so using like your hips and the pressure of the floor from the right and come back. Okay, toes come back. This is 2N. So it's 8, 1, and 2 end, or 2E. It's a little faster. 2E. After that, we're going to use our famous 3E and a 4. So our single bit measure that now you're comfortable with, and it's going to be left with a full foot, then it's going to be just a touch with the right heel, then you're going to collect, and as you prefer, or you can just do a heel step, or you just can do like a lift with the knee and step. 3, E, and a 4, or Okay, so I'm here on 2E, 3E, and a 4. Make sure when you do that 3 that you really send your weight into the left foot, so you have this free just to touch and not transfer. Okay, so it's 3, touch, step, up, and step. 5, I'm just gonna really attack the floor and just stay there. Okay, so 5, it's like a up, and then I can slowly drive my right with my left to come back to a collected position. So 3, E, and a 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got until 7 to collect. After that, it's gonna be just open with the left and collect, and open with the right and collect. And when I'm collecting, I'm lifting my right heel up, so attacking the floor with the toe. So the timing of that, it will be 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1. And this is the call for our third 8. So that second 8 again with counts, it goes. So 8, 1, and 2E, then we've got 3E and a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1. From here, so it's like 8, 1, and 2E, 3E, and a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1. Our third 8, so we finish here on 1. We're gonna use it as a slide, really slow down. So what's happening here is our weight is on our right foot with our heel lifted. I'm going to use that connection that I have. If you rotate slightly your right into a turn out, you have a connection with your left heel here. And by straightening my right, so rolling down to my heel, I'm going to swipe away that left foot. Now when I'm doing that, I'm also going to transfer progressively my weight to the left, using like a down and rising up again when I put my weight on my left foot. So this takes 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to touch both feet. And with the right, I'm going to sneak like a little curve to get to a turnout but forward position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 5. After the and 5, I'm going back on N to the same principle. So it's a back and forth, and 5, and. Now I'm going to use again the connection between both of my foot and sending the right into a rond de jambe with the left. So every time I've got a connection between both of my legs, I usually use that contact to do a question answer. So sometimes it's just a small pressure with my left ankle to send the right. Or it can be a small pressure from my knee or from the thighs to send the right into a rond de jambe. And 5, and send into a rond de jambe. So it's like you would do like the same motion but smaller. It's like big and small. And then this right foot goes behind to do a pas de bourrée. So it's going to be cross and cross or collect and step a little bit further with your right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and the 8, we're going to just drop the knee into into a turn in. Now this motion, it's like if you want to draw like a top of an 8 with your knee out and drop in a turn in. Okay, just that motion, couple of times. Then I'm doing the opposite, so it's a in and out, in and out. I'm rotating on the ball of my foot, so pushing my weight there, freeing my heels to go in, and same principle, pushing my weight to the toes, freeing my heels, and up again. When I de-roll and go up, you want to place your weight into your right, okay, right to just cross with the left after. So this is 8 and 1. So that third 8 from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 1. Slow from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 1. For our last 8, we're right here on 1. So this is going to be very easy because it's going to be just waiting. So 1, 2, I'm going to just step 3 with my right on the side. So 1, 2, step 3. Then I've got the 4 end. So I'm going to step with the left in front, so like the diagonal. 4, and end is just going to be dropping the left knee. And by dropping this left knee, you would have like a hip going into that right foot. Okay, shoop, like a chill. So I've got 1, 2, 3, end. And then I've got 5, 6 is just small steps, and I'm going to keep the same principle about knee and knee. Okay, so it's like a merengue action, a little bit. Like this, drop, 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 drop. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, then 7 end. I'm going to do side, side, drop, right knee, and drop, left. Okay, so from across, I've got a 3, 4, drop, and drop, drop, side, side, drop, drop. So with counts, it goes. I've got 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, E, 5, 6, 7, and 8, end. And then we're in position where we can twerk if we want or not. So it goes 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8 and. Shoop, ba, ba, ba. So from the beginning with counts, it goes 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 5, 6 E and 7 and 8, 1 and 2 E, 3 E and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4 E, 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 5, 6 E and 7 and 8, 1 and 2 E, 3 E and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4 E, 5, 6, 7 and 8 and.